The world, the real world, doesn't exist. So if you're taking notes, because I did not prepare a visual, write down the real world doesn't exist. Now, of course, that sounds on the surface like I must be kidding or exaggerating or something, but I'm not. This is a variation of Manage Your Conversations, which I ask you to read as part of the book. It's one of the strategies. It's to manage the conversations you're in and your community. So it's a variation of that, but it goes a lot further. And I want to start with a little exercise. Write down the person who you listen to the most. So think of all the people that you listen to and all the voices that you hear. And I mean not just in your head voices, I mean loud outside voices. Whose voice do you hear the most? Write down the name. And now I'm gonna actually unmute all of you at the same time. And I want to have you say the name of the person that you hear the most. All right, you're unmuted.
Myself. I like that.
So somebody else give us one. We heard, yeah. We heard from Gabriella.
You, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Bill hears me the most. Somebody else.
Joanne.
Joanne, that's the person you hear the most. Thanks. Somebody else.
Max.
Max. Okay. Somebody else.
My best friend, Dave. Dave. But my best friend, Kevin.
Kevin. Okay. Who do you hear the most? Whose voice do you literally hear the most? Because so far, I'm pretty damn sure that none of you have you're wrong. Don't mean to make you wrong, but you're wrong. So give me another one.
Bert.
Bert, yeah. Okay. Give me another one.
I was going to say Richard, but you said that if our answers are wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't. Just try this one on. That the person you hear the most is you. And I'm not saying your inside voice, I'm saying your outside voice. Because every time you speak to anybody, you hear yourself. Even if you don't practice the strategy that I recommended, which is to talk out loud, nevertheless, I'll bet there's nobody in your life whose voice you hear as much as you hear your own. Because whenever you're listening to somebody else, you're also talking. And even if you listen more than you talk, you're still hearing your own voice more than any other person in your life. Well, who knows? That's my belief. Try it on and see. Now, if that's true, or even if it's not, I suggest that none of us live in the real world. We live in the conversations we have about the world. And we have very little influence over the real world, the world around us, particularly the most important parts of it. We can influence the less important parts, but really important parts, like a wildfire rushes through and burns your home down, you don't have any, you got very little influence of that. Or a hurricane, or a plane that takes off 5 hours late, or a terrible crash in the stock market. I'm talking, or illness. Yes, you can take care of your body, but I know people that don't take care of their body at all and never get ill and live to 100. I know people that take excellent care of their body and get very sick. So yeah, you have influence over some of it, but on the other hand, we have almost total dominion over the conversations we have about the world. because you're in charge of your lips. And so you get to create the conversations, and you get to ask for the conversations from others that you want. And those conversations are our reality. Those conversations that you listen to and that you speak are your reality. Now, what about what's happened in the past? Well, I'm sure that your conversations about the past are your past. And they're only obliquely related to the reality of your past. Just like your conversations that are going on in the present is your reality about the present. Now, of course, if it's 30 below zero and you're saying, boy, this is really warm, well, it's still 30 below zero. So I realize that this is not universally true. But I grew up in Black Hills of South Dakota in Deadwood, where it literally got to 30 below zero. And it was often zero. And my dad's conversation about the weather was always, boy, this is some weather, and it's really better than no weather at all. So his conversation about the weather was a conversation of acceptance and celebration. When it stormed and rained, he wanted to jump in the car and go down and see how deep the creek was. So, and our conversations about the future, of course, they're not related to the future. The future is a complete mystery. So to conclude this idea is to say again that in my opinion, you do not live in reality, and neither do I. We live in the conversations that we make up about reality. And you're always in charge of your lips. Those lips don't move. They don't move on their own. And if you cannot get the people in your community to shift their conversation, just walk away and choose a new community.